Born in 1911 to William Jones and Nancy Boomhouse on the Tulalip Reservation, a sister to 14 siblings, Marya's recollections of her upbringing were pleasant. Though the large family was poor and living in tight quarters, she fondly remembers her mother as considerate, kind, always working hard to support their family getting along in life and with each other. She particularly enjoyed days when the old people came visiting, sensing their values in looking at her for who she was or what was in her. During Marya's upbringing, she witnessed Indian men and women engaged together in the work sustaining their livelihoods, making nets, building canoes, fishing, gathering wood or drying fish, digging for clams, gathering berries, and hunting ducks and deer. Forced to attend the Tulalip Indian boarding school around age 8 with many other Indian children, Marya remembers years of hard work and then a surprising end to the experience, as shared in an interview with Sherry Smith in 1982.
They seen me working in the laundry, and I think that, when I work, I really work. I mean, I hurry, but anyhow, I just was sweating. It was just boring. And I didn't know that they'd been watching me. They decided I had tuberculosis. They didn't x-ray me, thump my chest or anything. He just says, she's got tuberculosis, and they sent me down to Pyramid Lake in Nevada for 6 months. They said I had tuberculosis. But I got down there, and that man said, who sent you down here? I said, Dr. Kern. What kind of a doctor is? I said, he's an old man. And this man must have been about 60. He was asking me. He said, I said, he's an old man. I was 16 at the time. And he said, how old is he? I said, about 45. But I'll never know to this day if I had it or not, because they didn't x-ray me or anything. But that was the end of my education. Then I got back, I was too old.
Teenage years brought on a tension within Marya. Feeling different from her family, she became boy crazy, mouthy, restless, and got caught smoking and drinking. Marya's mother decided not to take her on directly, and instead shared her daughter's behavior with relatives and tribal members, including Chief William Shelton, asking them to speak to her daughter with kind advice. The strategy worked, as the embarrassment of these conversations helped Marya rethink her actions. In 1928, Marya met and married her husband, Walter Moses, of the North Cascades foothills Sauk-Suattle tribe, where they went to live. Eventually, the couple moved back to the Tulalip Reservation, settling into a large family life of their own, raising 11 children, 6 girls and 5 boys. In 1951, Walter unexpectedly passed away, leaving his widow to figure out how to fend for 9 remaining children in their home. 2 older sons had enlisted in the military and were serving in the Korean War. Efforts to find work, affordable housing, and feed everyone was a constant struggle for this mother, finding herself lost at sea. Yet it would ironically soon be the sea that would change her life's direction, putting her on a course to stabilize the family's circumstances. After various jobs working in a cannery, sewing, knitting, and cooking failed to make ends meet, a nephew gave her 400 feet of net, and Marya began to learn, with her children helping, how to fish and beach seine. The next hurdle was to obtain a boat, and when a junkman wandered through looking for deals, she negotiated an old storm-wrecked boat that had been repaired, complete with a small gas engine. Marya shared what it was like learning to fish and how she became competitive at it.
My nephew, Tom Gobin, asked me to cook for him, so I took my daughters 9. We went down, cooked for him for a while, and Tom was just having a hard time too. He gave me a piece of net, and a man come along with buying junk. He had a beat-up old boat he sold me. I borrowed $150 and bought it. Went down to the beach and
Nobody catching fish. And Tom says, "Let her go, Marya. Make a selfie." And I thought, south? Well, you go south, I guess. But really, you were supposed to go the other way. So I made the wrong set, and that's the way the fish were coming. And oh man, did I catch the fish. And guys, which way did you make a set? I thought, hell with you guys, I can kill you.
Marya grew to love the experience of fishing to her very core, eventually adding more boats and family members to their business. As the years went by, the hard work and determination would lift Marya out of poverty and sustain a better quality of life for the family. Yet, like the sea's bobbing waters, life's ups and downs would bring additional heartaches with the loss of two sons, Walter Moses Jr. to the Korean War and Victor Moses to a logging accident. Marya's grit and stamina would help her persevere and later evolve into leadership roles within the Tulalip community. She served on Tulalip's election committees and was on the board of directors from 1963 to 1965, chairing the tribe's education committee. She shared heritage values and history with an emphasis on interpreting native languages and was key in revitalizing Lushootseed, the language of her people. As a Gold Star mother, Marya actively worked to honor and remember those from Tulalip serving in the military. Historian and author would become new roles Marya would take on, working with researchers to tell her story as one of the few early successful commercial fisherwomen pioneers. She recorded memories from her life story and culture, told with the pride of being both a lifelong Tulalip native and an American. Marya's later years would be spent enjoying many grandchildren, relatives, and friends, developing a passion for sports, particularly the Seattle Mariners, and she loved watching family play softball. In 2006, at age 94, Marya passed on, the last of her Jones Boomhouse 17-member family, and was buried at Priest Point Cemetery on the Tulalip Reservation, where she'd been born and dedicated her life to. The Tulalip History Project proudly remembers this impactful member of our tribe, Marya Jones Moses.